Hi, welcome back. If you haven't yet seen my full musical chill-out garage tour, I strongly suggest you watch that first before you watch this. This is the first in a series of garage deep dives, if you like, looking a little bit longer at each car, looking at maybe the crew colour that was involved, the IRL photos, etc, to give you a little bit of a deeper understanding. I'm going to do all the garages in order, so starting with this, Supercars 1. They're all Italian thoroughbreds, and we're starting off with this, the Pegassi Torero, or the Lamborghini Countach. When I was growing up, if you were into cars, you had two posters on your wall, a bright red 25th anniversary Countach and a bright red Ferrari F40. I used a crew colour, but I'm not going to give it. I think you may as well just go for Torero red. Now, I really enjoy this car. I mean, you can lose the back partway through a corner, but overall it goes well, and it has a very interesting sound with a sort of gearbox whine, which I used to think was unrealistic till I looked at YouTube and found that's exactly what you hear on the real car. Next up is the Infernus Classic, which is based on the Lamborghini Diablo, mine being built as the SE30 Jota variant. Now this car came in a metallic light blue as pictured, or as a sort of metallic violet purple colour, which I think looks a bit better, but that was last year's colour, so I changed it for this year. I quite enjoy driving this car, but not as much as some of the other ones in this garage, and the reason is that the oversteer can be a bit unpredictable when it comes, and also the real car sounds like thunder, and then the one in game just sounds okay. On now to the Infernus, which is easy to say, but the car I built it on isn't. It's the Murciélago LP670-4 Super Veloce. Phew. Now this car is very twitchy to drive. If the cornering speed is not perfect, it's going to do something that you don't like, so I don't drive it very often, and also when you drive it you do see the back end of a Pagani Zonda. You can probably build it with the yellows and oranges in the game, but I've given the proper crew colour below. Moving on then to the Vacca, or the Lamborghini Gallardo, done here as an LP574 Superleggera. Now, I wasn't going to keep this car, to be honest, because it looks so unlike the real thing. It's the sides especially, there's some McLaren in there. It just doesn't look right. However, when I was playing with crew colours, I found this colour for it, and the colour is a dead ringer for the real car, and somehow when I put that colour on, I just felt it lifted the car so much that I wanted to keep it after all, and I'm glad I did because it drives superbly. It's a really good value car in the game. I was able to configure the next car on the Lamborghini configurator and actually make my own. It's the Tempesta, which is of course based on the Lamborghini Huracán. I've used the Tecnica version here. The colour is Viola Mithras, which I sampled, and the hex is down below. I think this car looks absolutely superb. I've done a full review on the car, I will link that down below, but I do think it drives really, really well. I have two of them and I think they're worth every cent in the game. The Sián, and I hope I've got that pronunciation vaguely correct, was the first car I ever reviewed on this channel. So if you want to know more, go and watch that. Of course, you do have to put up with my gaming microphone, and you have to put up with a ret set that sounds like he's been held hostage for at least a week with no sleep, but hopefully things have improved a little since then. I selected the colour scheme you see in the photo. The green is a crew green, but you could easily replicate this, I think, using a GTA green. However, I actually prefer the colour scheme of the original show car, which is in my video, and the way that I got those colours is also outlined in that video. Of course, there's still another 61 of them out there, so I'm sure you can find a scheme that suits what you would like. Making this video, I was gutted to find that I had the wrong name on the car, which you can see corrected above. I don't know how that crept in, but I suppose there was 600 or so titles in there, and somehow I missed it. Our next car shares a lot of similarities with the Sián, both in game and in real life. It's the Torero XO in game, and I find it very similar really to the Ignus to drive. It does tend to understeer a little bit more. Now in real life, the underpinnings of this car are in fact from the Sián, and then the body is of course a modern reinterpretation of the Countach body. This has been controversial and not everybody's a fan. I just think it looks stunning. I love the fact that the more recent releases get so close to their real life counterpart. This is another one, of course, the Lampadati Corsita, based strongly on the Maserati MC20. A number of the in-game liveries are slight perversions of the real one, but a number of them are the same as the real one. So I went into the Maserati configurator, I chose blue Infinito paintwork, and there's a crew hex for that, and the twin black stripes, and really, it's a dead ringer. I do enjoy driving the car in the game very much if the roads are dry. It's a very much mid-engine twitchy feel, rather fun. On a wet road, not so much fun. So now we move on to the classic de Tomaso Pantera, the Lampadati Viseris. You can build this with both the wide arch form and the narrow arch form, which is really good. This year I went for that quite stereotypical all-white build. I think it looks really, really excellent. When you drive this car with some gusto, you will notice it is a rather tail-heavy car. However, it does sound really, really good and is a lot of fun to drive, but again, more on a dry road. I have a lot of favourites in this garage, and this is absolutely up there with those. The de Tomaso P72. It's still in prototype form even now, I think, but we're right on the edge, I believe, of customer sales for the car. This baby blue one was shown at Lake Como, and I just thought the colour was one of the nicest I'd seen for it and works so well. In game, it's the Lampadati Tigon, and you've seen from the photos just how close this is to the real thing. But there's one thing the photos can't show you, and that is the noise. I mean, it drives nicely anyway, but it sounds absolutely fantastic, high revving and racy, and I can't resist inserting a little clip. So that concludes our deep dive into garage number 1. I'd like very much to know whether you enjoyed it, whether this format was right, whether I hit about the right balance on each car. Did I not say enough? Did I say too much? Was there anything else you really wish I'd said? I'd like to know, because obviously with so many more garages left, I can tweak that going into the future. Next week we'll have Supercar Garage 2, which is mainly Ferraris and Koenigsegg's with a couple of other things thrown in. Now, if you've got this far, then thank you so much. It means a lot to me. But you know what you have to do now. Hit that like button really hard. Thank you so much for watching.